new episode of Sports Nation will tell you about the main success of Kazakhstani athletes during the years of independence. We'll share a success story of Galina Duvanova, a three-time Asian jiu-jitsu champion. To conclude the episode, we'll dive into the world of national sports that have become part of the world's heritage over the past 30 years. In 1991, Kazakhstan began appearing internationally as an independent state. 3 years later, we debuted at the Olympics in Lillehammer, where our renowned skier Vladimir Smirnov won 2 silver and 1 gold medal. Since then, Kazakhstan has won 72 Olympic medals. Most of the awards were won by our boxers, and in addition to medals, we have 3 Val Barker trophies, which are awarded only to the most highly skilled fighters at the end of the Olympic Games. Boxing is the calling card of the Kazakhstani sport, and according to experts, the National Boxing School is among the top 3 in the world. Thanks to our coaches, we have good specialists. They have been working for generations. Fighting and wrestling are in our Kazakh blood. The Kazakhs have achieved serious success in the professional ring as well. One of the first who went to show the Kazakh style of boxing was Atlanta Olympic champion Vasily Zhirov. And after that, Gennady Golovkin became a real world star. Jibek Sadriddin Akhmetov, Daniyar Yelusinov, and Meirim Nursultanov are catching up with him. To be honest, when I was a kid, I didn't think I would be a boxer. My older brother started boxing. We were living in Semey at that time. I used to go to the gym to train when I was a kid. It was just interesting. Then my brother moved to the capital. Then the coaches invited me too. There are a lot of boxers in Kazakhstan. As you can see, there are also enough gyms. We have everything for training. Trends in boxing are changing, but our level in the sport has not dropped. We remain at our high level. Track and field athlete Olga Rybakova is the only athlete from Kazakhstan who has won 3 Olympics in a row. All of her medals are of different values, including a gold medal at the 2012 Olympics. Today, Olga holds the national record for the number of athletics tournaments won, and there is even a sports complex named after her in her native city, Oskimien. I'm not bragging naturally, that's what people have decided. I don't consider myself a legend, I just do what I like to do. It helps attract more children, young people, especially in our beautiful sport. It is the pride of my life. That's what I've been living with since birth. Of the team sports in Kazakhstan, we can highlight the men's water polo team, which is regularly selected for the Olympic Games and is considered one of the best in Asia. At the last World Cup, everyone was pleasantly surprised by hockey players who were one step away from the playoffs. But still, the most vivid emotions in recent years are associated with Kazakhstan futsal. Kairat Futsal Club today is one of the strongest clubs in Europe, and the national team at the last World Cup was among the top 4 teams, and in the semi-finals, Brazilian Kaká Swords lost only on penalties to the future champions, the Portuguese. I want to win for the national team. As for the club futsal, I want to win the Champions League for the 3rd time. And as part of the national team, I want to win the World Cup or 3 European Championship. I think we're close. Other strong teams will fight, but I believe in our victory. The largest international sports federations continue to trust Kazakhstan. The country has hosted the Asian Winter Games, the Universiade, World Cup Championship in boxing, judo, wrestling, freestyle, weightlifting, and many other non-Olympic sports. Athletes not only regularly bring medals but even get into Guinness World Records. A resident of the capital, Sergei Tsirulnikov, calls himself the successor of Kazhimukan Munaytpasov's traditions and is rightly considered one of the strongest people on the planet. In 2018, he temporarily pulled a locomotive with a tanker weighing a total of 150 tons. After a little rest, Sergei accepted a new challenge and prevented 2 light aircraft from taking off. To this day, most of his records remain unbroken. My sport is strength culture, a whole layer, the heritage not only of our Kazakhstani Batirs, but also the heritage of the world. I am the founder of the power direction in Kazakhstan, in particular isometric gymnastics. I started this movement 11 years ago. I have students who tie nails with their hands. A lot of guys in Kazakhstan are trying to do something now, and quite well. In a short period, Kazakhstan has become a real brand on the world sports scene. Personal records, team victories, all this is equal to the success of the whole country, and each Olympic medal motivates even more Kazakhstanis to go in for sports. And it doesn't have to be professional. Today, according to official statistics, almost 30% of the population is engaged in physical education and sports one way or another. Further on the episode is a big interview with Galina Duvanova about the orphanage, the influence of the coach, and Olympic ambitions. Friends, this is roughly what a successful jiu-jitsu athlete's career looks like. From the white belt to the black belt. But how much work and hours spent in these gyms? Galina Duvanova, the heroine of our episode, also sets the highest goals in jiu-jitsu. 3-time champion of Asia, a medalist of world championships. Today, in addition to the fact that Galina performs at the professional level, she coaches children, as she is an example to many people. You have come from the Asian Championship. It took place in the Arab Emirates, the 3rd medal of the Asian Jiu-Jitsu champion. I think the next is the World Championship. What are your goals? Great goals, great plans. We don't stop there. Of course, I have plans to perform at the Black Belt World Championships. If Jiu-Jitsu becomes an Olympic sport, I would also like to perform at the Olympics. I think it's every athlete's dream. How many years has Jiu-Jitsu been in your life? This is the 6th year. In principle, not so much. Yes, I am. At the age of 16, you started practicing Jiu-Jitsu. How did you get into this sport? I learned about Jiu-Jitsu from my sensei at an event. He invited us to practice Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't even think about doing it at that time, so when sensei asked me a question, I said I didn't want to do it. Not interested. I came to Jiu-Jitsu to support my friend and ended up staying there myself. Now you're engaged as an athlete and you also coach children. Well, it's not always easy. It's really hard with kids and it's not everybody's job to be a coach. I have a group of the youngest children from 4 to 8 years old. I love children and children love me, so we get on very well. When I come back from tournaments and bring medals, they get more excited than I do. They're waiting for me to come to bring a medal. This is the motivation for me. Who else is in your support group? In fact, the best motivator for me is my sensei, my coach, who is always there for me, always supports me, from weight loss to the tournament itself. Is it true that you even call him daddy? Yes, it is. That is how close you are. Yes, of course, he's not just like a dad, he's my friend, my mom, my aunt, all in one. She's one of those athletes who achieve very cool results in a very short time. Her core is determination and will. She has all these qualities. She always challenges not only herself but also the guys from our team. A medal from the World Championship. Here's a medal from Asia. Sweden, November 2018. Here's Europe, my first one. Here I took bronze. It turns out that most of your medals are here. That's the way it happened. I fought among adults. You were 17 years old. At 17, you were already fighting with adults and taking medals. At that time, there wasn't much competition in the women's division, so we fought with the adults. These are our guys. They are also our title athletes. A selfie with the president. When was this photo taken? In 2019, before quarantine. How did you decide to take a selfie? We were sitting next to each other and the president was sitting 2 people away. He was leaving and everyone wanted to capture the moment. I wanted a picture of us, but he said, let's take selfies. What don't we know? What other talents do you have? I am the kind of person that you can never tell I like to do needlework. Because when I was studying to be a designer, I loved to weave carpets and make products with my hands. And you know, I don't look like a Kazakh. They often think I'm Russian, but I'm actually Kazakh. My dad is Kazakh. I'm mixed. Half Kazakh and half Tatar. Got it. You were born in the Kazakhstani region. Yes, in the city of Arkalık. Were there any preconditions in your childhood that you would become an athlete? No, they weren't. We didn't have any athletes in our family at all. We're more creative. My little sister is a creative person. She dances, sings. I had no idea I was going to be an athlete. I loved physical education, but I think all kids love it. Every kid dreams about being someone. Honestly, before jiu-jitsu, I didn't know what I wanted to be. When I graduated from high school, the big question was what I want to do. As a result, I got into design school. I studied well, but when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I realized it was something I was willing to do 24 hours a day. You have a difficult fate, and if this subject is not taboo, I'll ask. It's okay. How did you end up in an orphanage? Dad passed away when I was 9 years old. After that, I lived with my mother, my brother, my sister, and grandma. When I was 13, my mom passed away. She was sick. We were sent to Russia. We have relatives there, my mother's sister. It didn't work out there. The relationship didn't work out. Yes, since we didn't know our aunt well, it was hard for us to get used to it there. We wanted to go back to Kazakhstan because we were born and lived here. We came back to Kazakhstan for our documents and stayed there. At that point, we decided that it was better in a shelter in Kazakhstan than in Russia. We went to an orphanage in Arkalık. We lived there for about half a year. SOS Children's Village comes to the orphanage every year and watches the children. Chinibekova Rita came to see us. She's our mom who raised us. She's raising my little brother now. She came and brought the 3 of us here. She came to us 7 years ago. She didn't come alone. She had a little sister, Karina, and a little brother, Artyom, who was very young. But even after coming here to the children's village, Galina had such a quality as kindness and care for others. Then, as she started doing sports in 2017, we began to notice her hard core and the desire to move towards her goals.
желание такое добиваться своей цели до конца.
We are in an SOS children's village where I graduated from in 2019. We're on our way to our house where my little brother lives now. That is such a little excursion, yes. Let's not be confused. This is not an orphanage. No, this is not an orphanage. This is a family-based children's village. By the way, there are pictures over there from our childhood. Are you there? Yes, I am. We're there with my little brother, where I'm kissing him. And my little sister is in this corner showing her fingers. Do you have many friends here? No, I don't. All of my peers graduated from here. There are new kids here. Every house is filled with children. Children grow up, they leave. And they take other children. How many children did you have in your family? 5. Basically, there are 5 children now, too. What memories do you have of this place? The good ones. I love coming here, especially when I know my little brother is waiting for me at home. We haven't seen each other for a long time because of the quarantine. Hi, Artyom?
Артём?
Yes, I am. That's my little brother. Come here for a kiss. How's it going? I'm okay. I missed you. Me too. I know that you are fluent in Kazakh. You are a Kazakh. Did you study in a Kazakh environment? My dad spoke Kazakh at home. He spoke poorly in Russian, mainly in Kazakh, and my mom followed my dad. We have heard our native language since childhood. I want to become a champion just like Gala. Some days I also practiced with Gala. I'm also happy when she takes first place, but I haven't seen the competition live yet. What does your little sister do? My sister got married, she has a son, and our little brother is still a student. On weekends, on vacations, he comes here to the gym. They are good friends with the sons of the sensei. He's a family member here. My little brother has great respect for sensei. When I'm overseas, his first question is how sensei is doing. He always asks about him, and then he starts asking about me. Is it possible to get into a family from there? Yes, it is. We had a lot of cases where they came and watched the kids. Mostly the family takes the little ones, so it's easier to get used to. They don't remember everything. For them, the parent is the one who raised them, so they mostly watch the little ones. They tried to take my little brother away from us a couple of times. Do you mind? Sure. You keep in touch in the village. Are you living on your own now? Yes, I live on my own. One period, if I'm not mistaken, you lived with the sensei. Yes, I lived with them for 4 years as a family. At the moment, I'm renting an apartment. That is the new stage of my life, but at the same time, I know that I'm welcome and can always come home. My wife brought me to this. We saw Galina had to go out of town after every training session. It was winter, training didn't end early at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. There were no such days that Galina missed training. Galina was not the only one who lived with me. Before that, I had other students and pupils who came from other cities. We always help everyone. The doors of my house are always open.
Двери моего дома, они всегда для всех открыты.
30 years of independence of Kazakhstan. Tell me, how many opportunities are there in our country today to become a professional and successful athlete?
Возможности большие. Я думаю, все зависит на самом деле от
The possibilities are great. It all depends on the person, no matter what sport they play.
Если ты отдаешься в
If you give in to the process, you are ready to sacrifice something for the sake of the sport, then it is always rewarded.
то это
And like any athlete, I always dreamed of seeing our flag raised on the podium on the international arena and hearing the Kazakhstan anthem.
стало, чтобы на пьедестале, вот именно
These are indescribable emotions. You can't explain it, you have to feel it.
это неописуемые эмоции, это не рассказать, это нужно прочувствовать.
А есть у вас мечта?
Do you have a dream,
Сегодня вот
regardless of the sport? What is your biggest dream?
Самая такая заветная мечта — это забрать
My most cherished dream is to take my little brother with me, to have him around, to train together. I would really like him to end up like me.
пошел в моем направлении,
At the moment, this is the most cherished goal that I'm going for.
в которое я иду.
He always tells me, "You're the best, I'm proud of you," and those are probably the kind of words that don't let you down, always motivate you, make you go forward.
Всегда мотивирует и заставляет идти вперед.
Это классно.
Thank you very much for the interview. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for coming. Further in the episode, we will tell you why Kokbar is loved in America and how Kazakhstan develops national sports. Archaeologists have proven that the horse was domesticated by humans 5,500 years ago, and it happened on the territory of modern Kazakhstan. Most national games cannot be imagined without a horse, Rambaatu, Audaraspak, or Tenge Elu. Everywhere, the skill of the rider and the intelligence of the horse are required.
От лошади много зависит. Она должна вот уже...
A lot depends on the horse. It must be trained in these types of games so that the horse feels the rider. It has to navigate the field, how to behave, how to ride up.
в поле, как надо вести себя, как надо подходить, подъехать.
Today, one of the most popular games of nomads, Kokbar, is experiencing a second birth. At the last World Championship, which was held in Nur-Sultan, teams from Hungary, Turkey, and China were among the participants. And as in any professional sport, you can build a career in Kokbar as well. We go to the gyms, we do power runs up the mountain. During the training camp, we run up and down the mountain. We were running around with rocks. We also ran long distances, because you need strong legs and strong back and a strong grip. The rest will come later. A few years ago, the game sparked interest in the United States among local cowboys. Today, there is even its own Kokbar federation there, with the team regularly visiting Central Asian countries to improve their skills.
It's just starting, but because of the relationships we've built with the Kokbrew Federation here, as well as the Turkic Council up in Kazakhstan, both countries, Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, have supported us and embraced us, and they both are willing to help us grow these sports. So then, you know, as this is Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan's sport, you know, you both claim it's yours, we want to take it from both of you and make it all of ours.
Catching the guy on the other team who has the goats. They're very fast, they're very good, they know the technique, and they're amazing. These other countries, these players, I take my hat off to them. They're amazing sportsmen, and this is one of the hardest games I've ever played.
The Soviet Union did not encourage the cultivation of national customs and traditions, and many Kazakh games began to be forgotten, but with independence, interest in them quickly revived. Today, Kazakhstan hosts World Championship in Rambaatu, Kazakh kuresi, and enthusiasts even create mobile applications to play Togiz Kumalak. There are regular domestic championships in national sports, which every year get more and more fans, and not only in Kazakhstan. Traditionally, our episode ends with the video of the week. Maria Awezova, a famous parasport athlete from Kazakhstan, whom we have already told about in our episodes, became the world's first woman without legs to conquer Everest Base Camp. Maria dedicated her feat to the 30th anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence. On that note, we say goodbye to you. Subscribe to the Qazaq TV YouTube channel and follow us online.